Josh Macin, and been friends with Oren for 20 years, but we haven't really talked for the past 10, but it felt like time flew when we saw each other again. Anyway, my long story short is that 2013 of October, I fell very, very ill. Before that, I was doing all kinds of cool stuff. I was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. I was a professional Jiu-Jitsu athlete, and I worked at all sorts of cool corporate jobs. And then October 2013, I pretty much went from life to death in a span of a week. I started having an inability to hear my own thoughts, like panic attacks, depression. Those labels don't even really do it justice. It was just pure, utter torture on a second-to-second basis. And then I spent 3.5 years traveling around the world, seeking all kinds of health care, whether it was psychiatric drugs, which is where I started. Eventually I stopped those and went to the Amazon jungle and drank ayahuasca about 30 times. Ayahuasca is a hallucinogenic drug. Well, it's really more of a medicine than a drug, but it does alter your brain and alter your biochemistry. But you know, it's been really therapeutic for depression and anxiety for a lot of people around the world. So I thought that would be the next logical step for me when all else failed. You know, throughout that 3.5-year process, I did everything imaginable. I mean, float tanks and mineral therapy, genetic testing, and every diet known to mankind. And I fasted for weeks on end, just water fasting. I'm sure some of you guys have fasted before. Everyone seems pretty badass here, actually. I'm actually totally in shock with how much knowledge has been shared today. So amazing group of people that you guys put together here. So good work. Basically, in that 3.5-year period, I learned a lot and grew a lot, but it was nowhere closer to peace. It was just full-time panic attack. My digestive system didn't work. I couldn't digest foods. It was full-time paranoia, no sleep. I didn't sleep for like 1,200 nights consecutively. I probably slept for like an hour each night. And I went to the mental hospital, you know, like, that was like, you know, just rock bottom, you know, when I'm in the mental hospital, like not knowing that they can't help me, but I don't know where else to turn, you know. I shouldn't say they can't help me, but I just felt that it wasn't the path for me, you know, it was like a dead end, sort of what I felt. So anyway, I eventually came to the conclusion. I was 2 days away from going to Africa to take iboga, which is a hallucinogenic, an even more intense hallucinogenic drug that lasts about 36 hours, and many people have claimed that it reset their whole biochemistry, and it's very therapeutic for those who are addicted to heroin, actually. It's been gaining widespread notoriety for curing opiate and heroin addictions. So these are, you know, ayahuasca and iboga are both tribal medicines that, you know, in our culture they really hold no place, but in those cultures that's their Advil, that's their everything, you know, that's their connection to the divine, that's their whole essence of medicine is in this, you know, one plant. And so anyway, I promised myself that before I would take my own life that I would go to Africa and do iboga as a last-ditch effort. And believe it or not, I wrote letters to I couldn't talk to my family about this because they thought I was nuts at this point. So I literally wrote letters to my family, gave my friend my social media passwords, and was like, okay, I'm going to tell my family where I'm going as I'm on the plane because I cannot be held back. Like the pain is too unbearable that there are no more ties to this earth anymore. That's how unbearable the pain was. Basically 2 days away from going to Africa, and I came across, well, really, God came to me and started telling me and just giving me these intrusive thoughts about my mercury fillings, my amalgam fillings. And I started dreaming about my fillings and thinking about them and looking at them in the mirror just all day, looking at these massive mercury fillings in my teeth. And I said, you know what? I might as well get these out before I go to Africa because maybe they're getting in the way here. Maybe they're affecting my neurochemistry. So I went to the dentist. I took out, you know, at this point I'm in massive amounts of debt. So I took out another last $20,000 I had possible on my credit line, got the fillings out, paid for all of my Africa trip, and did some research on the internet, and I was like, all right, let's see if mercury poisoning is like a real thing, you know? And keep in mind, like, for us, it's all very real right now, but when I first started this journey, I was stuck in sort of, you know, depression is a chemical imbalance and you'll need Zoloft for it, you know? So I had come a long way to being able to process and understand just how much shit is going down on this planet, you know, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I got the fillings out and started doing research, came across a mercury poisoning story, and it was the only person on the planet who I resonated with and who like understood this level of pain and anxiety, and started doing the mercury detox protocol, a juggling act between many different protocols on the internet, and I also had Lyme disease, and I came up with my own protocol and basically saved my own life, and now I teach people all around the world how to do the same for themselves. And I can give you, if we have time, I can give a quick synopsis of the protocol that I do. What do you think I have, like 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. So basically, what I realized along the journey is that, you know, I could have sat in meditation for 20 years and would have never achieved peace because simply my gut was destroyed, right? Mercury and heavy metals destroyed the mucus layer, destroyed the intestinal tract, and everything is foundationally resting on the gut. And if the gut's not intact, everything else is for null. So I healed the gut using several different supplements like slippery elm, colostrum is very excellent, licorice root. I also used pharmaceutical mast cell stabilizer, an antihistamine called ketotifen, which in my opinion, anyone who's pretty much, you know, dying or in serious condition should totally check that out, talk to their doctor about it. Just disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. So yeah, then, you know, after the gut is intact and your bowels are flowing, right, then you can start moving into the world of parasites, which along my year and a half, I've probably released 600 worms, you know, and I think that actually the majority of the population is probably dealing with the same thing. It wasn't just me. And I used suppositories, which are like rectal suppositories that I learned how to make myself and teach other people how to make them as well. Pretty simple. You can go on my website for more deeper information, just because I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, then after the suppository and parasite phase, I believe we should move towards heavy metal and the bigger things like mercury. So conventional wisdom is that if you're toxic with mercury, the first thing to do is remove the mercury, but actually that's the last step. Because if you, like Dr. Sage was talking about, you strip away the metals and you basically destroy everything along its path. So, and then I use suppositories for chelation, but I don't chelate with synthetic chelators. I'm not a fan of that. I like cilantro and wheatgrass juices. I also like EDTA and N-acetylcysteine and alpha-lipoic acid are really good stuff too. But essentially, yeah, the message that I'm trying to get out to the planet is that, you know, we are being bombarded by toxins on a regular basis, as you all know, and it's just found everywhere in the environment, everywhere in our skin products and candles and everything. So I believe that when we remove the junk, and not just physical junk, really mental, spiritual, anything that's not serving us, when we detox it, and get rid of the junk is when our body is able to come back into homeostasis, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I believe getting rid of all that stuff provides us with the clean vessel of consciousness that we are, and allows us to operate on a much higher level.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And your website?
My website is called thedetoxdudes.com.
Are there two of you?
There was for a little while, but I started it by myself and just wanted to do a community thing, so I called it Dudes instead of by myself. Yeah.
Nice. Thanks
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Oh.
Website to check out, people. Okay, so so we had such phenomenal speakers today. I'm just wowed, just so wowed, and